I'm joined here today by the one and only Vicente Luque, who this time is set to take on Niko Price, normally at UFC 249. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me and excited for my next fight.
Of course, man. I know everyone's looking forward to it. First things first, before we get into everything fight related, I know you've got family all around the world, Chile, Brazil, United States, just to name a few. With everything that's going on, man, how's the family doing?
Yeah, I've been checking on everyone and thank God everybody is fine, staying at home, making sure that they're safe. So, I'm blessed to have them, all well. And over here, I'm taking care, making sure that I'm going to stay safe and not get, infected with anything. Just stay safe and train hard.
And so, where are you currently in the world? I assume you're in Florida?
No, right now I'm in Brazil.
Oh, okay. How did the decision for Brazil happen? 'Cause I assume you had to plan with, all the countries and everything shutting down.
Yeah, the thing is, I live in Brazil, so most of my family is here. My wife is over here. So when I was gonna fight April 18, I did go to Florida. I was staying at Gilbert's house. I trained with him over there at his house, and when it got canceled, I decided to get back to Brazil to be with my family. And then when they called me for May 9, I in my mind, it made sense for me to keep getting ready over here and then just go fight week over there. So next week I'll travel to Florida for the fight.
And so, how's the travel going for you? Are you going to be affected at all, or so far it just seems like everything's normal?
No, I mean it's definitely different because airports are really empty, and that's a good thing at this time because at least
Right.
there's not much contact with anyone. I make sure I'm wearing everything to protect myself, mask, uh, everything that I need to. So and flights were okay. I can fly to the U.S. because I'm a U.S. citizen, so that's not a problem right now. So everything is working out.
And so, are you scared at all to travel, or is it just about making sure you're safe, and then you just got to do everything you can?
It's always concerning, no matter how much we take care of ourselves, something can happen. But at the same time, I'm confident that I'm gonna, do what is necessary to keep myself healthy. And once I get back, also, I'm gonna take the time off and stay here 14 days, so that even if I get something, I don't affect anyone else. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think I'm gonna be able to keep myself safe and just not go through this with no problem.
Right. Let's talk about the fight a little bit because you're supposed to take on Niko Price. You were supposed to take on Randy Brown. Then we find out it's Niko. Then he gets canceled. Niko again. How's that been going for you? Because I assume it's a little bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, in my mind, I wanted to fight. That's what I let my manager know, and he let the UFC know that I was gonna keep myself ready to fight. And initially, it was gonna be with Randy Brown, but it didn't work out. So we were looking for some opponent. Nico was the guy that was ready to step up and fight. So it made sense in my mind because there was nobody else right now to fight. He's a guy that has been, I fought him in the past, but that's almost 3 years ago. So in that time, he got many good wins. He's coming off a great win against James Vick. So I thought it made sense for me, and it makes sense as a fight because we're both aggressive and exciting. So I thought it was a good fight.
Did it surprise you when Niko Price was the only name available? Because I assume it was a little bit weird considering you guys had fought before.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit surprising in the sense that it's a rematch, but for me, it's not a problem. I think it's interesting, to fight a guy that I fought before. It's going to be a different thing for me. I think this is going to be, it is my first rematch in MMA, so it's
Right.
definitely a different aspect, but at the same time, I think it's cool. It's a new challenge.
And so, with this being a rematch and your first one at this, how different is this training camp compared to others? Because I assume it's got to be similar to the first time you fought him.
The thing is, I know that people change a lot. Seeing myself, I'm a guy that's trying to grow, trying to add new things. So I don't look at this fight as the one that we had in the past. I look at it as a new fight. I think Nico is gonna bring new stuff. He's the guy that lost the fight, so he's gonna wanna come and try to beat me. If I was fighting against somebody that beat me, I would go with everything I have to beat that guy. So I'm definitely not going to underestimate him, and I'm going to make sure I'm ready for him and whatever he brings.
And so with this obviously being a rematch, you beat him the first time. Does that make Niko, if anything, more dangerous because you know that he's got an extra, chip on his shoulder?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I think it's gonna be that kind of aggressive fight where he wants to get that get that defeat out of his system and get a win over me, and it's exciting for me. It's exciting to know that he's gonna want to go there and pressure me, so I can go out there and pressure him back, and we'll see who's gonna be able to find the game and get the pressure game going.
And so we know that with Niko, he's got that deserved reputation of putting on exciting fights. You do as well. We know that you're a hard hitter in these fights. Is there a chance that this fight is boring at all, or is this 100%? We know it's going to be exciting going in.
Man, whenever I fight, I think it's really hard that it's going to be a boring fight.
Right.
No matter who I'm fighting, I know how to make fights exciting because I push the pace. I'm gonna, whenever I have the opportunity to finish, I'm gonna try to get that finish. If it doesn't happen, I'm just gonna keep chasing guy. And I think Niko is similar. He doesn't have much caution. He just go for it, goes for the finish. So it's really hard. It's gonna be a boring fight. I don't see that. I see a really exciting fight, maybe one of the best fights of the night.
100%. How's training camp going for you so far? Because I assume with everything that's going on, it's got to be a little bit difficult to train the way you'd want to.
Yeah, it's definitely different. The good thing is before my fight April 11 got canceled, I was, on camp already to fight Randy Brown, so I was training really well. And everything got canceled when quarantine started. So most of my training has been at home and, a lot of cardio running in the streets to make sure that I have the cardio I need to go 3 rounds strong. And I think that's the biggest thing, weight cut and cardio, because the technical aspect, I mean, we always train a lot. So this time that I haven't been training with other partners, I don't think I'm going to lose it. So I need to make sure that my cardio is on point, and that's what I've been working on a lot. And my weight also is going down good. I'm following diet and everything. So I think, everything is on point for this fight.
And, just as an example, I talked to Nick Maximov last week who had a grappling fight at Submission Underground. He was saying he was getting a lot of negative reaction from the fans and everybody. People were kind of, I guess, shaming him for taking a fight during this time and stuff. Have you experienced anything like that? I mean, have you had negative reactions to the fact that you have a fight coming up?
No, I really haven't. And, I understand that that might happen, but at the same time, what I like to uh, let people know is that the UFC, they always take care of our safety as the fighters we put on the show and of everyone else. I mean, everyone else is the people that watch UFC, the fans, so they don't want either one of us to be, sick or in any kind of have any kind of harm to our health. So they are making sure that this is going to be really in a safe way, no public. We're going to be there, and it's only going to be fighters and trainers and people that need to do the filming part of the fight. So I trust the UFC is going to make everything the best way possible so that we do not put anyone in danger. And at the same time, we're going to bring entertainment to everybody that is at home. And right now, we don't have many. I mean, we don't have any sports to watch
Right.
besides old stuff. So I think it's going to be a great way, to help people stay at home and be entertained, have something to do. So I think it's a positive thing.
And so, what you mentioned the no crowds. What do you think about fighting in an empty arena? Because I talked to one of your friends, Gilbert Burns, and he was saying he hated it. He hated, hearing everything and stuff. What do you think about that? Have you thought about it?
Yeah, I talked to him a lot just for me to know how that's gonna feel. But it's definitely not the best idea. I mean, I would love to fight with the crowd. I think that definitely gives me a lot of motivation. It cheers me up at the moment. But it's the reality right now, so we gotta adapt. And I think that's what fighting is about. MMA. We always are adapting to different circumstances. And right now, no crowd is what we have to do. So just stay focused on the fight, go out there and perform my best. It's gonna be, kind of like training. In training, there's no crowd, so I imagine it's gonna be something similar to that.
And going into this fight with Niko Price, as it is a rematch, do you find yourself watching the first fight a lot to sort of pick up on some things that went right for you, or is that a fight you kind of have to ignore?
I did watch a little bit, but I didn't focus so much on that. I focused on his fights after that, especially his last 2 fights, so that I can see how he has been fighting lately. I saw a little bit of change, a little bit. He improved a lot, especially on knowing when to put his aggression and how to put it. So I think definitely it's going to be a new version of Niko Price, and I'm going to be ready for that too.
And you mentioned watching his past couple fights. We saw the unique finish, obviously, against Randy Brown, and especially last fight against James Vick. What do you think about these unique finishes he's getting? Because he's really, pulling them out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think he's not afraid to make a mistake. If he sees an opportunity, he's just gonna take it, no matter, regardless if it's not something common. He'll do it. And the biggest thing I take from that is I always gotta keep an eye on him. I always gotta watch for something. If I'm on top of him, I cannot relax because he can come with a kick, with a punch, whatever. So. It's a guy that you cannot sleep on. You got to be always aware of what he's doing and make sure that you have your guard up.
All right, and that brings me to just my last question. Kind of an obvious one. I'm sure you saw it coming, but how do you see this fight with Niko Price playing out?
I see it as a striking match at first. Maybe he might try to grapple. If I see an opportunity, I might try to grapple, but mostly it's going to be a striking in what I see. I'm going to try to pressure him. He's going to try to bring it right back. Try to pressure me, and eventually I see a finish for myself. I don't know if it's going to be a submission or a knockout, but the kind of styles, they match up perfect for an aggressive fight. And if I see an opportunity, I'm going to definitely take it.
Well, obviously, it's going to be a great fight. I don't have to tell you that. Thank you for the time, as always, man. I really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing this one.
Thanks, man. Take care.